My mother locked the door behind me. The sound of the deadbolt sliding into place was louder than anything else that had happened that day. "Give it to your sister," she said calmly. Like it wasn't my name written on the check. Like it wasn't my grandfather who had placed it in my hands just 10 minutes earlier. $500,000. My fingers tightened slightly around the paper. "No," I said quietly. Her expression didn't change. She wasn't surprised. She was prepared. "She needs it more than you," my mother replied. "Needs. Not deserves. Not earned. Needs." Behind her, my sister Rachel stood near the kitchen counter, arms crossed, watching me with the same look she'd worn my entire life. Expectation. Certainty. Ownership. I was the weak one. The quiet one. The one who didn't argue. The one who gave in. That's who they believed I was. My mother stepped closer. "Don't make this difficult, Ethan." Difficult. Like this wasn't theft. Like this wasn't betrayal. My heart was beating faster now, but my hands stayed steady. I looked past her at the front door. Locked. Controlled. Planned. She thought I'd hand it over. Like always. But something inside me had already shifted. I folded the check carefully and slid it into my jacket pocket. Then I said the one word she never expected to hear from me. "No," and reached for the door. My mother stepped in front of the door before I could reach it. "You're not leaving," she said calmly. Not angry. Certain. Like this wasn't a discussion. Rachel didn't move. She just watched, her silence louder than anything my mother could say. I stopped a few feet away. "Move," I said quietly. My mother's lips pressed into a thin line. "Don't be selfish." Selfish. The word landed harder than I expected. $500,000. Given to me. By name. In his handwriting. And somehow I was the selfish one. "You don't understand how much she needs this," my mother continued. I looked at Rachel. She didn't argue. Didn't deny it. Because she didn't think she had to. She'd never had to earn anything from me before. My mother reached toward my jacket slowly. "Give it to me," she said. Not asked. Said. Her fingers touched the fabric near my pocket. That's when something inside me snapped. Not loudly. Not violently. Quietly. Finally. I stepped back. Her hand missed. Her eyes widened slightly. She wasn't used to that. I turned the lock myself and pulled the door open. Cold air rushed in. "Ethan," she warned. I paused. Looked back at her. At both of them. Then walked out anyway. Neither of them followed. Because they still believed I'd come back. They still believed I had nowhere else to go. But I did. I had the bank. And I had his name on that check. The bank was only 12 minutes away. I remember every second of that drive. My hands stayed steady on the wheel, but my mind kept replaying my mother's voice. "Give it to your sister." Not, "Can you help her?" Not, "It's your choice." Give it. Like I didn't exist. Like I was just a bridge between her and the money. I parked outside Caldwell Federal Bank. The same bank my grandfather had used for over 40 years. The same bank where everyone knew his name. Inside, the air smelled faintly of carpet cleaner and coffee. Normal. Safe. Routine. I stepped up to the counter and handed the check to the teller. She smiled politely at first. Then looked down at the name. Then the amount. Her smile faded. "I'll need to have my manager assist you," she said carefully. She disappeared into a back office, holding the check like it was fragile. Minutes later, a man in a dark suit approached me. Mid-50s. Sharp eyes. Controlled expression. "Mr. Caldwell," he said quietly, "please come with me." He led me into his office and closed the door behind us. Then he looked down at the check again. His face changed. Not confusion. Not suspicion. Recognition. He looked up at me slowly. And said the one thing I never expected. "Sir," he said quietly, "you need to call the police." I stared at him. "I'm sorry, what?" I asked. The manager didn't answer immediately. He stood up, walked to his office door and locked it. The sound made my stomach tighten. He returned to his desk and placed the check carefully between us. "Mr. Caldwell," he said quietly, "when did your grandfather give this to you?" "An hour ago," I replied. His jaw tightened slightly. "That's not possible," he said. A cold weight settled in my chest. "What do you mean?" He slid the check closer to himself and turned his monitor toward me. "This check," he said carefully, "was issued from a protected trust account." Trust account. I frowned. "Okay." He shook his head slowly. "That account was flagged this morning." Flagged? For what? He hesitated. Then answered. "For unauthorized access." The room felt smaller suddenly. My mind struggled to keep up. That doesn't make sense, I said. He gave it to me himself. The manager studied my face closely, not doubting me, confirming something. When did you last see your grandfather before today? He asked. This morning, I said. At his house. The manager didn't blink, didn't move. Then he said quietly, Mr. Caldwell, your grandfather was reported unconscious by emergency services at 7:42 a.m. My chest tightened. I had seen him at 8:10, alive, awake, handing me that check, which meant someone was lying. That's not possible, I said again, quieter this time. The manager didn't argue. He just turned the monitor fully toward me. A hospital intake report filled the screen. Patient, Harold Caldwell. Status, unconscious. Time admitted, 7:42 a.m. My grandfather. My chest tightened. I saw him after that, I said. He was awake. He spoke to me. The manager leaned forward slightly. Did anyone else see him give you this check? I thought about it. The living room. The smell of his old leather chair. His hand steady as he signed it. Then, my mother. She'd been standing in the hallway. Watching. She'd said nothing. Just watching. Yes, I said slowly. My mother was there. The manager nodded once, like something had just confirmed itself. Mr. Caldwell, he said carefully, this trust account required 2 authorized signatures for any withdrawal over $50,000. 2 signatures. I looked down at the check. There was only one. My grandfather's. My stomach dropped. Which means, the manager continued quietly, someone bypassed the trust controls this morning. My heart started beating faster. Because suddenly my mother locking the door made sense. She wasn't trying to take the money. She was trying to stop me from reaching the bank. Before anyone realized what had been done. My hands went cold. You think my grandfather didn't authorize this? I asked. The manager chose his words carefully. I think, he said quietly, your grandfather intended you to have access to something. Something. Not just money. He reached into his desk and pulled out a thin folder. This trust was created 12 years ago, he explained. It contains more than just liquid funds. He opened the folder and turned it toward me. Property titles. Investment accounts. Corporate shares. My name appeared on every page. Not Rachel's. Not my mother's. Mine. This trust activates fully only under one condition, the manager continued. I looked up. When its primary holder becomes medically incapacitated. My grandfather. Unconscious. My chest tightened. He prepared this himself, the manager said. Personally. In person. Multiple times over the years. Carefully. Intentionally. My mother knew. That's why she locked the door. That's why she told me to give up the check. Not because she wanted the check. Because she didn't want me discovering the rest. The manager leaned forward slightly. Mr. Caldwell, he said quietly, someone in your family expected you not to come here. Not expected. Relied on it. My phone buzzed. Mom. Come home. We need to talk. Not asking. Ordering. For the first time in my life. I didn't feel weak. I felt dangerous. I didn't answer her call. I stared at the screen until it stopped ringing. Then another message appeared. Mom, this is a mistake. Don't do anything. Mistake. Not misunderstanding. Not confusion. Mistake. She knew exactly where I was. Which meant she knew exactly what I had discovered. I looked up at the manager. Who else has access to this trust information? He didn't hesitate. Only the primary holder and the listed beneficiary. Me. No one else. Which meant my mother wasn't supposed to know. Unless she tried to access it already. Has anyone else been here today? I asked. He paused. Then nodded slowly. Yes. My chest tightened. A woman came in this morning, he said carefully. She claimed to be acting on your grandfather's behalf. I didn't need him to say her name. I already knew. She was informed she had no authorization, he continued. She left immediately. Then locked the door behind me. Tried to take the check. Tried to stop me from getting here. Not to protect Rachel. To protect herself. My phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't my mother. It was the hospital. A known number. I answered. Mr. Caldwell? A calm voice asked. Yes. Pause. Then. Your grandfather just regained consciousness. Everything stopped. Because now, the truth wasn't hers to control anymore. I reached the hospital in 11 minutes. My mother was already there. Standing outside his room. Waiting. Her face changed when she saw me. not relief. Fear. Ethan, she said quickly, stepping toward me. We need to talk before you go in. Before. Not after. Before he could speak. Before I could hear the truth. I didn't stop walking. She grabbed my arm. You don't understand what he's done. I pulled away. No, I said quietly. You don't understand what he's done. I opened the door. My grandfather lay in the bed, pale but awake. His eyes found mine instantly. Clear. Certain. You went to the bank, he said weakly. Not asking. Knowing. I nodded. My mother stepped in behind me. Dad, you're confused. You need to rest. Stop, he said. One word. Enough. He looked at me. I moved everything to your name years ago, he said quietly. Because I knew what they would do. But, not she. But, my mother went silent. Rachel wasn't here. She didn't need to be. She had trusted my mother to win this for her. But she hadn't. He reached for my hand weakly. It was always yours, he said. Behind me, my mother said nothing. Because for the first time in her life, she had nothing left to take.